Welcome to the consulting room. Today we are going to discuss about drug abuse and addiction. And once again, I have with me here Farm Edmond Ejebwedu, who is also a pastor, by the way. And before we continue, he will do a brief introduction of himself, what he does, and what he represents. Please, you are welcome.
Thank you so much. My name is Farm Edmond Ejebwedu. As you rightly said, you can also say Pastor Edmond Ejebwedu. Okay. I'm a pharmacist, and I'm with the Ghana Adventist Health Services. I serve as the chief pharmacist, and I'm also a pastor, a minister of God, pastoring Gilead Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Okay. So you're welcome, Pastor. And once again, thank you for honoring our invitation.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Okay. So before we continue, we'll take a short break, after which we'll dive into drug abuse and addiction. Welcome back to the consulting room. Once again, we are here today to dive into drug abuse and addiction. And up here with me is Farm Edmond Ejebwedu, who is also a pastor. Farm, please, you are welcome.
Thank you so much.
So we are going to jump right into it.
Okay.
When we say drug abuse or drug addiction, what's the meaning, and are they the same?
Drug abuse and drug addiction are two different statements, or two different, if you want to go into English phrases or what you want to say. I even prefer saying drug misuse.
Okay.
So we have the abuse, we have the misuse, all of them come into play. So when you talk about drug abuse, we are looking at using a drug in a wrong way. You are using the drug in a wrong way, whether legally or illegally.
Okay.
So we can have legal drug abuse and illegal drug abuse. You can have the legal ones like paracetamol. You can abuse, have a lot of people who misuse or abuse paracetamol. Anytime they take it, and if you misuse it, you abuse it, it's going to have an effect on your system. People abuse the normal antibiotics we have, like amoxicillin, ciprofloxacin, and the rest. People abuse them. So these are legal drugs that are in the system. These are legal ones. People, you go to the hospital, we prescribe it for you, then you take it. For instance, you have a drug like tramadol. Mm-hmm. Tramadol is a legal drug, which is used in the hospital a lot. People can abuse it. Codeine is a legal drug, but it can be abused. Even some of our cough syrups a lot of our cough syrups now, those we call cough syrup, drugs we use in managing cough, most of them have become drugs of abuse. So these are legal drugs. Then we have the illegal drugs that people also abuse them. For instance, you talk about cocaine. Cocaine is illegal. Heroin is illegal. Marijuana is illegal. So these are illegal drugs that you can also abuse them. So when you talk about generally drug abuse, we are looking at using a drug wrongly, whether it is legal or it is illegal drug, using them wrongly. Then you can also have what we call addiction. Addiction, in general terms, is using something whereby you've used it for a longer period, it has become part of you, and it becomes very difficult for you to stop using it. You cannot live, you cannot go a day without using it. And that is what we refer to as addiction. When you come to addiction, we have various types of addiction. But the two major ones I want to talk about, we have the physiological addiction, then we have the psychological addiction. When you we talk about physiological addiction, For instance, if someone takes cocaine for a very long time, the cocaine changes your physiology. It changes how your body behaves. So now it changes your body to behave in such a way that you need to always have the cocaine in your system. If it is tramadol that the patient is abusing, it becomes now, you've taken it for a very long time, higher doses, than it has become part of your system, that your system cannot behave well when it does not have that drug in your system. And this is what leads to what we call withdrawal symptoms. So the moment you stop taking the drug, then you have this withdrawal syndrome. And that is what we talk about. Omeka said, techie. If you go to the tripper, you say that techie a channel. The person has techie. You see that the person will be fidgeting, jittering, and a whole lot of things. The person needs to take the drug before the person can become okay. That becomes physiological. Your whole body has been adapted to the drug. And for that matter, if you don't take the drug, you will not feel fine. Then we have the psychological addiction. For that one, it is cravings, the one we call cravings. It is not physiological. It is your mind that is telling you that if you don't take this thing, you will not be okay. For instance, some people who take in alcohol, sometimes alcohol can be psychological. People who take Coca-Cola, people feel that every day they need to take Coca-Cola. It is not. It is psychological addiction. We call it in our term. We call it drug habituation. Drug habituation. You've made it your habit. And for that matter, you have come to stay with it and you feel that you need to take it. It's your own feeling. It's not your physiology. If you stop taking the Coke, nothing will happen to you. You are not going to go through. Sometimes you go through some withdrawal symptoms, but that is very mild, that you can actually deal with it. So for drug habituation or physiological, psychological addiction, those ones you can easily deal with it. You can easily deal with it. But with the other one, the physiological one, that is what causes the drug dependence. It's difficult dealing with it. So drug abuse, you can abuse the drug, but it might not lead to addiction. But when you abuse it and it leads to addiction, then it becomes very difficult to stop taking in that drug.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so please, what are some of the reasons why a young person would start using drugs?
It's for drug addiction. There are a lot of reasons we are not even talking about only young people. If you are in Kumasi, you know a place we call Tinkamu. Now I know the KMA, the Ashanti Regional Minister, they are wild there, they want to eject them. If you go there right now, you are going to count not less than about 2,000 drug addicts there. Some of them are very old, some of them are young, some of them we have a lot of females there, a lot of people who are there. So drug addiction is not basic, it's not for the young, it's for everyone. You have older people who have this addiction, who have taken these drugs and these drugs, the drugs that they are in are what we call in our system, we call opioids, the opioids or the narcotic drugs. Example, you can have codeine, cocaine, morphine, tramadol, pethidine, and all these drugs. Some of them, they take it. And what makes people go into it? Some of them, it is for medical reasons. It is through medical reasons that they get into it. For instance, somebody gets an accident, then the person is introduced to tramadol or pethidine as a painkiller. So the person takes the pethidine for some time, then the person becomes addicted. It becomes difficult for the person to stop taking it. That one, he started from a medical reason and the person has become, and it is basically, this one is basic among health workers. You have a lot of health workers who are addicted to what? Pethidine. Who are addicted to pethidine. That one is there. Tramadol too is the same thing. So some of them, because the person went through a lot of pain, surgeries, then the person was introduced to the drug and it has become part of them. But some of the people, the youth also, it is for the fun of it. Because the other colleagues are taking it, they also start what? Taking those drugs. They start taking them. Some of them also uses it to deal with stress. Some people start using it to deal with stress. They become too stressful. They start taking these drugs, and with time, not knowing, it becomes part of them, and they find it difficult to stop. Some people also start taking it like for fun, as I've already said, for peer pressure. Their peers are taking it, and they also start taking it, and it has become part of them. So there are various reasons why people become addicted to certain drugs. It is not only one way, but when you get into the addiction, that is where the problem starts. It's difficult for you to stop taking it. And some of them also, they take it because of the high it gives. We call it high, the euphoria. If you've ever taken on any of these drugs before, I remember I had a certain problem, disease, and I've been giving it to patients, I've been teaching about it, I've been talking about it, these drugs. Then I had severe pain. So I was admitted at the hospital. The pain was not going. They started with one drug, diclofenac, it was not working. Then the doctor suggested they should give me about 50 milligrams of pethidine. Then they gave me the pethidine, and the way I felt very happy, very excited in myself, the euphoria it gave me. Then I understood the reason why these youth, they are not able to deal with it. So it's not easy. When you have the first dose, the euphoria it will give you, and the way I slept after taking in that drug, the injection, you sleep, and you sleep very well. It's like you are in heaven. So when you wake up, you feel that, oh, give me. The moment you have the pain again, the first drug you will request will be that drug. So you take it the first time, so the pain, everything vanishes. Then you will request for it the second time. The third time they will give it, fourth time. So it gets to a point that it becomes part of you. Then it becomes addiction. You struggle to stop taking it. So this is how. So it's not all the time that the addiction will start whereby these young people, because some of them genuinely, it was through medical reasons and they became addicted to it.
Okay, that's interesting. Anyway, so please, what are some of the early warning signs that family members can see and spot that maybe their loved one is developing a drug problem?
One, the first thing is that the person will start hiding things from you. You see that the person they start behaving abnormally. It is not how they behave. And they become so much secrecy. When you are coming into their room, they are quickly putting things together. They are quickly hiding things. When you get closer to them, some of them, they always go with perfumes. They start spraying it around themselves for you not to realize that there is something there. So you need to watch out for some of these things. Sometimes it also leads to sleep disturbances. The person cannot sleep. The person cannot sleep, and the person starts developing certain kinds of conditions. And socially, they start stealing. They start selling things around themselves. If they have a phone, you see that they start selling the phones, start selling their belongings and other things in order to access some of. You know, these drugs, they are very expensive. Mm-hmm. If you go to Tenka, they buy the cocaine. They use the matchstick. That is what they use to sell it. In about 4 years or 5 years, I went there. If they use the matchstick to take the cocaine, how much will go on it? That one was 5 cedis. Hey. So currently, I know it will sell around 30 or 40 cedis per matchstick. Wow. So if you want to get really high, then you need to take about 4 or 5 matchsticks. And that is a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So that person will always need money. So they will start picking money from all over. You put your money down and you cannot find it. You put your valuable there and you cannot find it. They take it, they sell it for very cheap and use it for the drug. So these are some early warning signs you can see. And the person even starts withdrawing from friends. If you see all this withdrawal and other things, then especially when that person tends to be a youth, who is becoming a lot. They even become truant in school. They don't go to school. They start lying. They lie a lot. So you need to look out for all these things, behaviors, so that you will be able to track them down.
Okay. So what are some of the commonest drugs that are modern drugs that are being abused a lot in our country?
Okay, so for now we have. Let me start with the commonest ones. The first one that is very common. We were talking about weed. We were talking about cocaine. We were talking about this. Cocaine is very expensive, so they cannot afford it. Most of them cannot afford it. Then the weed is another thing altogether. But now they realize that tramadol was cheap. It's cheap. It's still cheap. Tramadol is cheap. So the tramadol, the legal one, you take the 50 milligram maybe either 3 times or 2 times a day. That is okay. But now for them, they will buy the whole blister, the sachet, which have 10 capsules on it. They will put all of them into some maybe 5-star, the energy drinks, and they will take all of them. Now, the moment you take a lot of them, then it resembles, tramadol and cocaine. Cocaine is the senior brother of tramadol. Cocaine is the senior brother. Tramadol is down there. But if you take it a lot, then it matches with what cocaine will give you. So they started with this tramadol. Then the Indians and other peoples also saw that those who produce it, people were abusing it in our country. So instead of producing the 50 milligram, they've gone ahead to produce 225 milligram, 250 milligram, 300 milligram. And that one, the color is red. And that is what we refer to as what? Red. Red. So red is high dose tramadol. Very high dose tramadol. So red contains about 250, some of them contain about 250 milligram. So if you even take 2 of them, you're taking 500 milligram. It's like taking a whole blister of the 50 milligram. So it gives them high dose. And they behave that way. So that is it with the some of the common. We have the tramadol. Apart from tramadol, we also have codeine. Codeine. These drugs, they are also effective cough preparations for cough. For codeine, so we have a drug called Benylin with codeine and the other things. So because the codeine also could give that euphoria, they come to the pharmacy, they buy the whole bottle of the Benylin, the drug with codeine, then they take in. And one thing about drugs is that any drug that has the ability to get into our central nervous system, to get into the brain, has the potential to give us that euphoria, the sense of feeling high. So any drug and most of the cough drugs we have, because the cough center is in the brain. Anytime you are coughing, the coughing is being controlled by the brain. So what happens is that most of the cough, even this drug, Ritalin, the common Ritalin, they are abusing it. Dextromethorphan, DXM abuse. It is one of the commonest drugs that they even abuse outside this country. So any drug, so they found out that most of the cough preparations, the cough drugs, they have these drugs in them. So they are abusing that ones as well. So it's not even only the red. So they are doing the red, the tramadol, then they are doing cough preparations, and any drug, even with the diazepam, Valium, diazepam, and other drugs that can aid you to sleep and do that, they are abusing all these drugs as well. So there are a lot of drugs on the market now that the youth are abusing.
Okay. So please, how does the drugs affect the brain, the body, and mental health of these people?
It has a lot of effects. Let me take you to the opioids like the red. One of its major side effects is what we call respiratory depression. It prevents you. Let me use simple English. It prevents you from breathing. It reduces how you breathe. It depresses your breathing. It doesn't allow you to breathe well. So shortness of breath. So when you take it, and we've already said that it will cause euphoria. It will make you sleep. It will make you sleep. The moment you take it, you feel dizzy and you will sleep. and it will depress respiration. So if you take it in high doses, quickly you sleep. The moment you sleep, you are not able to breathe. It depresses your breathing, your respiration. The moment you have that depression of respiration and you are asleep, you are unconscious. So as you are sleeping, you continue to sleep and you die. If somebody is around you, that person can shake you, can wake you up, then you continue breathing. And that is what is killing most of the youth. So these drugs, they kill most of them. Mentally, it causes this addiction. And addiction is a huge disease. Addiction is a whole disease of itself. And it's difficult to manage addiction. So you see those who are addicted, now they are even out of society. Mentally, it affects you. It can lead to psychosis, mental disorders, and in the end, it can lead to madness, as we all know. As you become dependent on it, it can lead to madness as well. So it can depresses your immune system as well. So you attract a lot of diseases, a lot of conditions on yourself. It weakens your immune system as well. So it has a lot of effects on the body when you take these drugs, you abuse these drugs.
Okay. So please, let's talk about peer pressure and social media. Are they playing a role in encouraging these people into drug use and abuse?
For me, I heard of Red for the first time on social media.
Me too.
Although I've practiced pharmacy for a very long time, I heard of Red on the social media. Then I went to the internet to check what Red is. And I saw Red is a high-dose tramadol. And I said, oh, really?
Wow.
So I started reading about it, where they manufacture. I know about 2 or 3 months ago, BBC had a documentary. They went to India, the company that produces it. They aired it. If you go on YouTube right now, you'll find that video. BBC, they aired the Red, how it is destroying youth in West Africa. If I want to quote from the manufacturer, he said that they are just doing it because it gives them money. Because of the money. That is the reason why they are producing it. They know the harmful effect of it. Now, social media, the youth gets to know about it. Because if I'm a youth, I'm already taking tramadol. I'm already taking the cough preparation. Then somebody tells me there is something called Red and it's spreading on. Quickly, I'll go and get it. So social media is helping to spread it. Those who are even not into it want to see what Red is, and they are getting into it and they are taking it. So social media is doing a lot of damage to us. It is a necessary evil. That is what we will say. Social media, aside the good things that we can get from it, it is also spreading some of these things that is not good.
Okay. So how can parents talk to their wards about drugs they use, misuse, without making them feel judged?
Now, it's difficult. It's difficult if the child gets into it. It's difficult dealing with it. So we need to prevent it in the first place. We need to prevent it as parents. We need to be on the lookout. We need to have time with our kids. Those are the teen years. That is where it starts. You need to look out for the kind of friends he moves with. You need to look out for the kind of company, the kind of places he visits, the kind of places he goes. You need to be very careful about it. And let's try to counsel them, talk to them about the effects these things can have on themselves. If we overlook certain things, it will be very difficult to catch up with the boys and girls who are into it. It's not only guys, the ladies are also into it. So we need to be alert as parents, as teachers, as leaders. We need to be very alert to spot kids who are going into these areas so that we can stop it.
Okay. So with the youth who are at risk, what are the other positive alternatives that we can introduce them to so that they stay away from the drugs?
So we need to get closer to them. As we all know, education can be one. We need to make sure that all of them are educated. Then we need to also find some skills, jobs for them to do. And some of them, Some of them, it is unemployment that is taking them in because they don't have anything to do. Now, they call it the streets. Most of them have joined the street life, and they are into it, and that is what they are doing. We need to find something profitable for them to do, and we need to get closer to them. They need companions, very good companions. So we need to find something for them to do. They need a lot of counseling. We need to get closer to them, and we need to show them a lot of love. Most of them get into drug because they do not have that love in the house, because of what they are experiencing in the home. They go to the streets, they find friends who show them love, the love they need. The friends will show them that love. And if they show them that love, they introduce them into the drugs. So if the child have a lot of love in the home, it will be difficult for the child to go out. Broken homes are an example. If there is not love, there is not much care in the house, the kids will just drift and they will follow the streets, because for the streets they can have all these things there. So we need to be closer to them. We need to monitor them, and we need to support them. They need something. They need to do something with their hands, and we need to provide for them what they need, so that people will not convince them into these things.
Okay. So please, if a friend should offer a drug to you or me or to a young guy out there, how should the person handle that situation?
A drug?
Yes, if your friend offers you a drug, like a hard drug, how should you handle that situation?
I will not take any drug I don't know about it. What am I taking? The drugs are given to people who are sick. If you are not sick, why are you taking a drug? Okay, so if I'm sick and you want to give me a drug, even if a doctor writes a drug for you, the first thing you need to do now, our phones are there. You can just Google about the drug, know what the drug is going to do to you, know the side effects or adverse effects of that drug, know what you just don't take anything into your system you don't know about it. If you give me, for me, I have knowledge about it, I know it. So if you give it to me, I know what it's going to do in my system, so I might not take it. But for somebody who do not have any knowledge about drugs, if anyone hands a drug over to you, you don't even have to ask the person what the drug is for. You can quickly read about the drug and know what the drug is going to do to you. Don't take in any drug you don't have any information on. Okay. Don't take any drug you don't have any information on to help you.
Are there any community programs or initiatives that are targeted towards drug abuse and misuse?
There are very few in the system. They are very, very few in the system. We have very few NGOs that are doing it. The public health, the mental health units in our hospitals are not doing that much. I'm sorry to say that. We are not doing that much in the system, education-wise and other things. We are not doing that much. And for that matter, most people get into it before we start doing things about it. You go to our various SHS and people are there, the guys are just doing drugs and other things. The education is minimum. They are getting the wrong education from their friends, whereby they are not getting the good education. People available to educate on this is not that much. We have some NGOs and other people who are doing it, but it is not enough compared it to how prevalent this thing is in our society.
That's interesting. So how can schools, churches, and local organizations come together to work in prevention of these vices?
Now, it is a public health emergency. Let me use that. It's even deadly than the malaria, the HIV we are doing. We have a lot of youth in it. We need to do a lot of campaigns on social media, on televisions. Churches need to have time for it. Get people to come to the church and educate the youth. We need to spend more time on it, on some of these things. In our schools, the counseling services we have in our school, we need to organize periodic programs that will take the kids into it, explain it to them, let them know the hazards, let them know why they don't need to go into drugs. It should be regularly. Sometimes you have a school doing once in a year, Some schools have not even done it for about 2-3 years. It should be, if you can do it every month, every week we are talking about it, we are educating. On the television, there is a lot of adverts on it. It helps. When we were young, there were a lot of television adverts on it. I remember one television advert, Akwadawo Kohe. Yeah, when it was saying, we were near Mapani Biwa Hanum, we cocaine. Why don't you come? There were a lot of, and it became the order of the day. Everybody was talking about it, so we became aware of it. So we need a lot of this education, a lot of these adverts, both on social media, and civil society groups should also come in. NGOs, they should come in and spread the message so that it will help curb this menace.
Okay. So we'll take a short break, after which we'll continue our discussion on drug abuse and addiction. Welcome back to the consulting room. As we are back to continue with our discussion on drug abuse and addiction. So from Edmond, please, my follow-up question is, how does someone abusing drug affect their family, friends, and even the community at large? Apart from the individual damages, how does it affect the other people around?
One, we've already spent money training that person. He becomes useless. I know very good friends who are into it, and now they are very useless. They cannot do anything with their lives. They cannot do anything that will help them progress in life. They are becoming useless. And they become burden on the family. Now you put your thing down in the house and they will steal it. They become a nuisance. Aside themselves, they become a nuisance to you. Sometimes you need to chase them all around, take them to the rehabilitation center, they will run away. You need to spend time. Time you will need to go to work, you need to spend time on it. Sometimes you see it as very light, but when you have a family member who is addicted and you want that family member to come out of it, it is not easy. The tough time that family member, that person will give you. So aside, they can easily cause injuries as well. Sometimes they become rowdy, they cause injuries, they become violent. Because of the drugs they take, they become a bit violent in the house. So they are even dangerous to their own family members as well. So in the community, they are useless, they cannot do anything better, good for themselves. Then they start stealing, taking things that are not their own. They start causing a lot of violence. They do a lot of things in a society, disrupting society and other things. So they are a nuisance and we need to curb it.
Okay. So please, what are some of the long-term effects of drug abuse? I think we've talked a lot about the short term. What about the long-term effects? So
the long term is what I've even talked about it. It can lead to madness. Eventually, it can even lead to death. Madness, it can lead to other form of conditions, heart conditions. If you come to the medical side, it can lead to a lot of heart conditions. It can make someone even impotent. It can cause infertility. It leads to a lot of health complications. These are long-term that it can give you. And the long-term detrimental effect is to cause death. You take in a lot of tramadol, you sleep, you get respiratory depression and you die. That is long term. You are dead and you are gone. But it can also cause some disabilities in the person and other things as well. So for long term, it has society-wise, as I've already said, they become useless to the system. You cannot do anything and they cause a lot of problems. If you have a friend who is into it, anytime you meet that person in town, you see how the person will attack you. They will come to you, they will demand money. If you don't give them money, they will disturb you and all these things. They are real nuisance to society, and for that matter, we need to do something about it.
So please, what are some of the most effective ways that people can overcome addiction?
So there are a lot of ways. In our society, we do what we call rehabilitation. We take them to rehabilitation centers, although we have very few minimum rehabilitation centers. Even for drug abuse, it is not common. We don't have common rehabilitation centers there in our system. We have those ones for people who are already mad, having mental problem, but those with drug addiction and the rest, it is a mental problem. But sometimes you cannot mix them with those because they are okay. Some of them, they do things normally. We need to take them to rehabilitation. At the rehabilitation centers or other things, we do what we call medication-assisted therapy. Medication-assisted therapy, we give them medicines to help them come out of it. We have some drugs we introduce them to so that it will help them so that they can come out of it. Sometimes it is about counseling. It is about finding something for them to do. It is about making sure they are well fed, they have the necessary things around them, taking them away from their friends, the community. It is one of the best ways you can do. If the person is staying in Kumasi and the person has a lot of friends who are addicted, you can take the person to Accra. And when you take that person to that far place, you make sure that the person does not come into contact with these people. You cannot manage the person with addiction while the person still move along with those people who are still into these drugs. So you need to isolate the person a bit. Make sure that he's free for the period that you are managing the patient. We have those ones that we have the peer-assisted therapy. They come themselves. So we have peer groups for them who want to come out of it. The first thing you always the person should be ready to stop. The person should be ready to stop. Anybody who is not ready to stop, you cannot stop that person. You cannot help that person. So that person should have the will to stop and will not continue again. That is only when you can help that person.
Okay. So I think I've followed quite a few stories about addiction and drug abuse and whatnot. But what I realize is that most of them, even when they admit that they are not in a good state or what is happening to them is not good, they are not able to ask for help. Why is that?
Because if it is a physiological addiction, your body is not allowing you to do that. That is why we say you want to do it, but the spirit is not allowing you to do it. You physiologically, it is part of your body, as I already explained. It has become part of your system. It has become part of you. Your whole being, your physiological makeup has been adjusted to the drug. So when you stop taking it, the kind of withdrawal symptoms you are going through, the techie, it's not easy. You cannot stay. So you eventually go back to it. So some of them, they are willing to do it, but it is difficult for them. That is why we take them through what we call the medication-assisted therapy. There are certain drugs, we give you those drugs. It will take away the withdrawal symptoms. It will make you feel good. Then as we go along, we reduce those drugs. And you are able to come out of it. You don't come out of it just in 1 week or 2 weeks. It takes months before you'll be able to go through the rehabilitation.
Okay, so I think there are a lot of stigma around it. Mm-hmm. And because of that stigma, a lot of them also feel ashamed to seek help. How do we help them deal with that shame they feel? And also, how do we help work against the stigma so that these people can also come out and seek help?
So the point is, the moment we see that you are addicted to a drug, you are in that category of people tend to move away from you. Even your own family members want to distance themselves from you. One thing we want to say that they are still our brothers, they are still our sisters. We need to bring them close. We need to continue to show them love. Take away the stigma, because it is the stigma that is preventing them from seeking help. We need to bring them closer to us and try as much as possible to help them. If we still tag them and move away from them, it will be very difficult for them. So as people, we need to bring them closer And I remember in our church we have a project that we want to do for these kind of people. One person, one leader in one of our church said that you want to bring all these people into your church, and when you are worshiping God, you see them doing all those sort of things. So he is against it. But I think they still need help. If the church cannot help them, who else will help them? So I think it is a project we all need to bring them together. For them, they are very friendly. If you get closer to them, they are very friendly. And they are very humble. If you want humility, go to them. The way they will just humble themselves just because they need something small from you. They will take it and they will go and do all these sort of things as well. We need to bring them closer and help them get out of it.
Okay, so please, what are some of the practical steps that we can take as parents, schools, communities, churches, associations? What are some of the practical steps? I think we've talked a lot about them taking part in it, but what are some of the practical? You're on the field, so you know what is out there that we can do in preventing this canker.
Practically, we've talked about educating those who are already in it. The first thing is to get closer to them. We show them love. We let them know that we love them. They are not alone in what they are doing. Even though they are in that state, we still support them. When you are able to win their confidence, you need to first win their confidence first. If they don't trust you, they won't get closer to you. So we need to gradually do good to them. When they come to you, try to accommodate them. If you have food, give them food. Support them. For them, they need a lot of food because they become very hungry. So you give them food, they become your friends. Then you start talking to them. You start talking. If there is a rehabilitation center nearby, some of them, they are willing to go for the rehabilitation. Now, if you go there and you say that you want to take the person to rehabilitate, some of them will follow you. Then if they are able to follow you to the rehabilitation center, then we start from there. We start giving them medications. We start convincing them to start the medication, trying to get to them. So these are some of the steps. And we will love it if every community will fish for some of these and help them. We need to have groups, societies, committees that will take care of them. People who are ready. If you have a committee or a group of people who are ready to deal with some of these people, helping them in every society, it will help us. In our churches, we need to find people in charge of them. Even inside our church, we have people who are addicted.
In our schools.
In our schools. There should be counseling units. We need to be proactive and fish out for people who are into it. Sometimes we leave them alone. They do all sort of things. On the campus, we need to start fishing out. Ask questions. Those who are into it, we fish them out. Especially, they come to first year in school. Form 1. That is where they start. You need to fish. The moment we see that they are into it, we fish them out. Among their colleagues can tell you those who are into it. You bring them together. You start talking to them. You start counseling them. You start helping them. And gradually you see that some of them will come out of it. We need to be active in their care. If you become passive in taking care of them, just looking at it will be very difficult. In our schools, in our churches, they are everywhere. If you go to Tinker now, you find a lot of Seventh-day Adventists there. A lot. We've been there several times. They will come out, oh, I'm also a Seventh-day Adventist. I worship at here. We have elders' children, the pastors' children who are still there. So we need to be active. We cannot leave them alone. We need to still be active, get to them, and try to help them.
Okay. So, Pastor, what are some of the roles that you think the government and law enforcement should play in the prevention of this virus?
I've seen police going to Tinker and other areas trying to drive them away. Where are they going?
To where?
About 5 years ago or 6 years, and you know when MPP was in that time, the police went there and they drove them away. And you go to Ashtown, they spread everywhere, especially those at Tinker. Where are they going? Now we have another base at Amakum, Old Amakum, in Kumasi, Old Ambokum, you have a base there. We have Tinkham. You go to Colombia in Krofrom. There are a lot of spots around, even Kumasi alone here, where we have them there. If you drive them away, where are they going? They've been rejected. So,
and that's not a solution.
That's not the solution. The society, the government, we need a lot of rehabilitation centers. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
We need a lot of rehabilitation centers. Because it is a problem, we need to find a solution and help them. We need a lot of rehabilitation centers. If every district can get one rehabilitation center, good. If we can do every region with a rehabilitation center, we send them there. Some of them, when they are okay, we put them on outpatient. Some of them will be inpatient, some of them will be outpatient. We need centers. We have a lot of hospitals that are even not doing well. You go there, you can go to a community, you have about 3 hospitals there. We can convert one of them into a rehabilitation center. We need a lot of rehabilitations, and we need a lot of people trained to go through training, mental health training in these things, addiction training, to come and help these people so that we move them around to support these people. So the government should help us. We train the human resource to support them. We have a lot of infrastructure, infrastructure, the rehabilitation centers should also support them.
No, that's interesting. But I think the Adventist Church should also open some of these centers.
Yes, we are doing it. We've started something like that. We are still in discussion. We wanted to convert one of our hospitals into a rehabilitation center. Then now there are a lot of things, policies that are coming up that maybe in the shortest possible time we are going to hear about what the church is also doing. I know some churches have also taken it upon themselves. But for the Ghana Adventist Health Services, I know there is a plan in place to have a rehabilitation center and other areas to support these people. We pray for finances, we pray for strength and
Amen.
other things.
Mm-hmm. Amen. So I'm part of a group by the name Campus Ignite. What we do is we visit campuses. Since I've been a part, the only campuses we've been visiting are Adventist schools. And we realize that a lot of the youth are addicted to drugs in Adventist schools, Adventist high school, and I'm talking about high school mostly. And so it tells me that the church has a bigger work to do.
Oh, sure.
But it is also something that we never ever talk about. I've never heard any or attended any program in the church where they talked about drug abuse among our youth. I can't recall even one.
Yeah.
And so it means we have a lot of work.
We have a lot of work. We have a lot of work. We should be intentional about it. We should be intentional about it. We should have a whole department for it. Sometimes we think that the youth department should take it out, or the health department. We should have a whole department. It's huge. If you go to every school should have a whole department, a unit in charge of that one. And their work, we have staff in that unit. And their work is not to go to teach, but their work is to fish out students who are into it, helping them, making sure to prevent it. Or the students know the basis. They know where they go and have it. They know the basis, they know it. If you fish it out, you find it and you can stop it. As I said earlier, we need to be active in doing these things. If you just talk about it and be passive, talk about it and go away, we are not going to get anywhere. So we need a lot of people to start this project, to get into it. We need volunteers into it. And we need people to sponsor it as well. If you don't get the sponsorship, we cannot do it. So if you have people who are ready to sponsor these things, then I think we can go a long way to help.
It's very important. Anyway, so please, any words of encouragement for someone who is battling an addiction?
One thing I would say about for those who are already into it, if you are listening to us or watching us, I want to tell you, all is not lost. All is never lost. God is ready to save you. You only have to avail yourself. You need to tell yourself, this is not helping me. This is not helping my progress in life, and I want to stop. If you tell yourself that, that is the first step. And we have people who are ready to support you as well. We have people who are ready to give you the needed support that you want. So make up your mind to stop. We are praying for you, and we know you'll be able to do it. Contact rehabilitation centers, people who are ready to stop, help you, and you'll be able to come out of it. If you are a youth and somebody wants to convince you into it, know the dangers. When you get in, it is very difficult to stop. So you need to be aware of it and don't venture into it. For our parents, for our leaders, we need to be on the alert. Make sure that we follow our kids. We are able to know what they are doing at any particular point in time so that we can be able to prevent that. Thank you.
Thank you too. So please, even though I'm a health worker, I don't think I even know any of the rehabilitation centers. Can you throw a little bit of light on that so that people would know where to go to, if there are any rehabilitation centers?
Now we have most of the Ghana Healthcare Hospital. We have the mental health units.
Okay.
We have a lot of mental health units in most of our hospitals. You can just walk in, you can take your child there, and they will start something. If there is a need, they can take the person to Ankafo, Pantine, or the rest. In Kumasi, we have the Adwenase Rehabilitation Center also here. I know someone has opened a private one along the Agona Road in Kumasi here. There are some few private individuals who have started rehabilitation centers. We can fish them out. We can locate some of them to help you. It's not easy. We don't have them enough in our country. We don't have them. So those who also want to invest in it, who also want to support people in it, we can start something like that, and we'll be able to support our children and the youth that are coming up.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pastor and Fab, we are very grateful. It's been a very fruitful discussion. So thank you very much. And to our readers out there, please remember that drug abuse and addiction is very real. And it doesn't affect only the individual. It affects all of us, families, friends, and the community at large. And so as we are learning about it, let's go out there and educate others. Let's also watch out for signs, early warning signs in our loved ones. And let's be each other's protector. Thank you, and see you again next week.